Good evening, I'm Dennis Ward. Welcome to APTN National News. Greenlanders' lives carry on today, and despite Donald Trump's retreat on taking the territory by force, his past rhetoric has not been forgotten and still causes concern. Video journalist Angel Moore brings us the latest.
Greenlanders have returned to some normalcy as U.S. President Donald Trump has retreated his threat to annex the territory using military force. This market that sells fresh fish and seals was business as usual. However, there is still a large media and political presence. Earlier, media surrounded the house of Greenland's Prime Minister. Inside, Jan Fredrik Nielsen hosted Denmark's Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen. After their meeting, they visited a fish market. But over at the United States Consulate, people continue to gather. Aviak Brunt is one of them. She's been there every day this week. Brunt waves the Greenlandic flag in protest.
Showing the world that he will treat Indigenous people like a thing. We are people and we are not for sale. And not part of us are for sale, not anything like that.
Sarah Olsey is the international chair of the Inuit Circumpolar Council. She weighed in on recent events.
In terms of not wanting to be colonized once again, we've already been colonized, and we are already working very hard to establish a more equal partnership with the state that colonized the people of this land.
Greenlanders I spoke to said they will always protect their sovereignty. I will have more stories to come, including a fisher who is concerned about climate change and how it will impact hunting and fishing. Angel Moore, APTN National News, Nuuk, Greenland.
Thanks, Angel. Now to BC, where the One BC political party were scheduled to hold a rally at the University of British Columbia. But we're faced with an angry mob who say denying residential school trauma is racism. APTN's Tina House was there and has this story.
Members of One BC were scheduled to hold a rally outside of the Indian Residential School History and Dialogue Center, but were met with an angry crowd instead.
Say it loud, say it clear, students do not want you here! One BC off our campus! One BC off our campus!
We managed to get through the crowd to ask Frances Whittleson, who's a member of One BC, a few questions.
Frances, what brings you here to UBC today?
I'm here to restore UBC to an academic institution, which it is not right now. It is a propaganda outlet for indigenization activists.
So you're saying all those residential school survivors are lying?
No, I'm not. I don't think residential school survivors are lying. I think they're misremembering.
The crowd then surrounded Whittleson, and one woman holding her child seemingly used the fact that she was holding a child to protect Whittleson from the anti-protesters who were demanding that One BC and their supporters leave. David Robinson was here with his mom to stand against racism.
Children should never be used as a tool to defend the hatred. You know, children are beautiful. That's why we're here today, actually, is to celebrate and to remember the children that never got that chance to be held and to be protected.
For Rosalind Hannah Miles, her dad went to residential school, and she says that the hate that the One BC party is spreading is racist and needs to stop.
This is my father. He went by Buddy, and he went to St. George's and he was harmed, like all the other people there who did their best to try to survive. But a lot of our people did not survive. I've heard many stories where people were killed. Where I'm from, there are, sadly to say, burial sites.
We caught up with One BC party leader, Dallas Brody.
The situation is that if your parents do die, you can't bury them in your backyard. You're not allowed to do that in Canada.
And what do you say?
Our interview was then cut short because an angry mob surrounded her. Just moments ago, members of the One BC party, including Dallas Brody and Frances Whittleson, were escorted off of campus. Except in Frances Whittleson's case, RCMP physically carried her out and put her into a police cruiser. UBC RCMP have confirmed she is in custody, but no other information was given about what she is charged with. As you can see behind me, over 1,000 people have gathered to say that denying residential school ever happened is racism and is not acceptable. Tina House, APTN National News, Vancouver.
A First Nation in northern Manitoba is on a mission to inform the public that lake sturgeon are at great risk of becoming extinct. The campaign called Save the Namao is also looking to hold Manitoba Hydro to task for its involvement. With more, here's TR Wheatley.
Number at the tail end of the sturgeon.
With less than 2,100 lake sturgeon tagged on the lower Churchill River in northern Manitoba, knowledge keeper Robert Spence says they are at risk of becoming extinct within the next decade or two. Spence blames the Churchill River diversion for killing the sturgeon. The CDR is a massive hydroelectric generating station built in 1976.
About 1.4 million square kilometers of watersheds that flows past our community. But the Churchill River gets less than 1%.
That community is the Tatasqueyak Cree Nation. Chief Doreen Spence says they've had enough.
Manitoba Hydro always manipulating the water level flows and everything, and basically they're manipulating our lives too.
In 2018, Tatasqueyak commissioned environmental consultants to study the river over numerous years, producing 3 reports in late 2025. The first one found the sturgeon only occupy 18 kilometers of the 450-kilometer river. The second tracked their movements, while the third produced the impacts of the Churchill River diversion. Taylor Galvin is an Indigenous sciences scholar who's helping TCN in their fight to hold Manitoba Hydro accountable. In order to do that, she's helping TCN start a campaign geared at educating the public.
Animals, landscapes, burial sites, all of these things. Like, this is the biggest issue in Manitoba right now, is that there's so much lack of education on how Manitoba Hydro impacts First Nations people.
The campaign, called Save the Namao, will see signs across the province on billboards, buses, public spaces leading up to September when the diversion license expires. Tatasqueyak's goal, get the public on board to pressure Manitoba Hydro to work with them on future negotiations, to listen to the people living on the land, and to save the sturgeon.
Give us more water. Release more water down the lower Churchill River system.
Spence says the water release needs to be done in spring and fall gradually to align with the river's natural flow. And if Manitoba Hydro doesn't comply, Tatasqueyak's chief is prepared to turn this into a legal battle.
We're not going to just sit back idle and wait. Like, if we have to go to court, then we will.
Meanwhile, Manitoba Hydro says they are reviewing the reports and they look forward to ongoing discussions with Tatasqueyak. A spokesperson says since 2018, Manitoba Hydro has provided the community with $1.5 million to help with the research, adding that diversion has always been compliant with its license. TR Wheatley, APTN National News, Winnipeg.
2 recent violent incidents in Saskatchewan hospitals had the Provincial Health Authority and government taking steps they hope will prevent any more harm to people who enter a healthcare setting. APTN video journalist Rachel May has more on that story.
The first incident I want to speak to is an incident that happened in December at Prince Albert Victoria Hospital, where a patient was removed from the facility.
Health Minister Jeremy Cockrell is talking about a man who was removed from Prince Albert's Victoria Hospital on December 11th and later found face down in a snowbank. The security staff involved were banned from working in SHA facilities. The other incident was fatal. Trevor Dubois died after an altercation with security on January 9th at Royal University Hospital in Saskatoon.
I reiterated my commitment to meet with the Dubois family when we have more information so that we can have a fulsome discussion.
The SHA said Dubois had meth, drug paraphernalia, and an imitation handgun, which his family says was a cigarette lighter. Details on how Dubois died and what caused the incident in the first place have not been released. At a January 12th press conference, Dubois' family said they want action.
All I'm asking for is some answers. And changes. Like, we need to help our people. We need to. This can't be happening. I feel like we need to work together.
Cockrell says the government is bringing in outside experts to review SHA safety practices.
Today I'm announcing that the government of Saskatchewan is ordering an independent review of hospital safety and security across the province. Everyone who walks through the doors of a Saskatchewan healthcare facility deserves to feel safe.
The review is expected to improve safety while maintaining culturally safe environments. SHA CEO Andrew Will announced the use of another tactic, metal detectors in urban hospital emergency rooms.
Weapons have no place in a healthcare facility. There should never be a weapon that comes into our hospitals. So one weapon coming into our facility would be too many.
51 special security officers will be hired to operate the metal detectors. Will says that they will receive training in de-escalation and how to be sensitive to the cultures of Indigenous people.
We also provide all of our Saskatchewan Health Authority training in terms of culturally responsive care, trauma-informed care that helps them, understand the patients that we're caring for and what their unique needs may be.
Rachel May, APTN National News, Saskatoon.
A unique healing camp in the Northwest Territories is being faced with difficult decisions. That story and much more still to come. Stay with us. Welcome back. New health services are now available for the Crees of Waskaganash and neighboring communities on James Bay in the north of Quebec. As Stephanie Ducev shows us, it's a huge upgrade for the well-being of patients and workers.
Now we have 4 rooms plus 2 other rooms.
Marcella Diamond Napash works at the new Health Miyumatsun Center in Waskaganish. It was built 8 months ahead of schedule and is more than twice the size of the old clinic.
After when they're done, we put them there and we put them away.
Mother of 5, Napash has been working as a dental assistant since 1991. She began her career in Chisasibi, where her husband is from.
To meet new people, help people. It's not boring assisting, so I like it.
She currently assists the only permanent dentist in Waskaganish, Dr. Haitham Elhaj.
Starting to talk Cree now.
He moved to Waskaganish after practicing for 20 years in Montreal. He says he regrets not coming sooner.
À peu près 2 ans que je suis là, un peu plus, donc je suis très content ici en fait.
He appreciates the new clinic's computerized approach and looks forward to the new treatments to come.
À partir du mois de juin ou juillet, on va rajouter le traitement de canal ici.
More extensive oral and facial surgery will be available in the future on site. The new community health center also offers radiology, kidney dialysis services, and a sleep clinic.
J'encourage les gens vraiment à venir, au moins essayer là, et vraiment ça fait une belle expérience pour tout le monde.
The Grand Chief of the Cree Nation government tested the services himself.
For me, first time ever, I went through a dentist office, didn't start sweating, didn't get scared.
Political representatives visited the center during its official opening.
In my view, this is basically a state-of-the-art emergency room, so we're very, very happy with it.
The new community health center is also innovating by implementing NISC, an integrative health care model. Bertha Dixon was transferred here last October. She is the coordinator.
Because of our way of wanting to work, like they've always described it as a TP, bringing everyone together in a TP setting.
At the former clinic, Bertha was the manager of the psychosocial team since 2002. She is originally from West Wanipi and has lived in Waskaganish for 20 years.
Keep in mind that Waskaganish is very unique, meaning that we have the emergency here, like under current services, like emergency services, alongside with the rest of the other teams, meaning the care teams regarding the dentistry being in the same building, the radiology, so it is expanding on services and meeting the needs of the patients.
The center's additional services will make it a regional hub for health for other Cree communities. Federal Minister Mandy Golmasti and former Grand Chief of the Cree government reflected on the lessons she learned while serving on the Cree Health Board.
And I had the opportunity to work on a committee with elders who really spoke about Miyugmatsion and the concept of being alive well and everything that it took to be alive well. The component of your health, your emotional, your physical, your spiritual, all of these things were integrated into an approach that helped this person be alive well. Those lessons never left me.
The minister said that the culture of the Cree was reflected in the colors, design, and art chosen for the building, which welcomes community members and overlooks the waiting room. The painting was designed and co-created by Tim Whiskey-chan.
Puis tout ce que vous avez, les branches alentour, les feuillages alentour, ça c'est tout médicinal. C'est-à-dire que dans notre monde Cree, si tu veux apprendre là, tu vas juste dans le bois, tu sens les branches, ça guérit déjà. C'est ça que les aînés nous disent.
Stéphanie Desev, APTN National News, Waskaganish in northern Quebec.
A one-of-a-kind land-based healing camp in Denendeh is hitting pause on one-on-one counseling. APTN Charlotte Moore Jacobs explains what led to this tough decision and what the future holds in store for the Arctic Indigenous Wellness Foundation.
Since 2018, this on-the-lamp healing camp run by the Arctic Indigenous Wellness Foundation in Sambake Yellowknife has been helping Indigenous people heal from their trauma in a culturally grounded way.
Right there. Here we treat people the way we want to be treated, and we treat people the way that It makes them feel good that they're being given an opportunity to express themselves in a good way.
But after nearly 8 years of largely relying on volunteers and providing frontline services without multi-year core funding, the organization is ending its one-on-one services. Nicole Redvers is a naturopathic doctor from the Dendanaquang First Nation. She's on the camp's board of directors and says planning for long-term funding was never possible because of the daily demands brought on by up to 20 clients a day.
You know, when you're constantly in crisis mode dealing with supports that are very well needed, it comes at the cost of the long-term sustainability that, you know, we're looking forward to support initiatives to go more into that realm.
Launched at a time and when the NWT didn't have any Indigenous healing facilities, let alone a treatment center, the camp modeled a land-based approach to healing for other NWT communities to build on. Redvers says it's because of that the current clients of the YK camp can be safely referred to other Indigenous-led services for care.
Wanting to see camps within their own region, because we were never intending to be, you know, the only sole camp in the north, let alone in the wider region, and have been really happy to see the number of healing camps now starting to pop up. There was a number of great ones in the Decho last year, you know, just all of these amazing initiatives.
Rooted in their own people's ways, the camp offered wellness through traditional foods, medicines, teaching, ceremonies, and spiritual guidance from elders and traditional counselors like Leanne Joss, who spoke with APTN in 2024 as the camp underwent a feasibility study.
And for our camp to grow, that would be amazing, because right now it's my sister Ruth and I as the two traditional counselors, and if we can get more counselors, more maintenance, more office work, I feel like we could thrive.
The organization says they are now focusing on capacity building initiatives through partnerships, mentorship, and training to ensure they preserve the foundational teachings of elders involved and attract and develop more Indigenous wellness workers.
As this cycle's closing, you know, we're looking forward to supporting other initiatives that maintain the spirit and the energy that was put into that camp from the first moment that, you know, our elders put tobacco down there. And, you know, what that looks like will evolve in the months to come.
Charlotte Mort-Jacobs, APTN National News, Yellowknife.
Our French language newscast is just minutes away. Host Kim Sullivan will be here to give us a preview after the break. Welcome back. Time now for our photo of the day. This beautiful yet undisclosed location is the view that Mariana Lapp was able to enjoy yesterday on her way home. Mariana is a big fan of APTN News, and we thank her for her viewership and support. Remember to send your photos to share@aptn.ca and then tune in each day to see if you are the next photo of the day. Now let's take a look at tomorrow's weather forecast.
Starting on the East Coast, minus 14 for Charlottetown, 10 below for Halifax. Minus 25 in Kuujjuaq, minus 18 for Cartwright. 16 below for Montreal, minus 25 for Chibougamau. 12 below for Sault Ste. Marie, minus 15 for Ottawa. Minus 17 for Thunder Bay, 20 below for Kapuskasing. Minus 18 in Churchill, 25 below for Norway House in the Paw. Minus 20 for Winnipeg, 22 below for Dauphin. Minus 20 in Regina, 21 below for North Battleford. Minus 21 for Meadow Lake, 25 below for La Ronge. In northern Alberta, minus 18 for High Level, 25 below for Fort Chipewyan. Minus 13 for Edmonton, cloudy, and 6 below for Lethbridge. Plus 6 for Vancouver, sunny, and 7 for Victoria. Minus 10 for Prince George, 6 below for Smithers. Minus 14 for Old Crow, 15 below for Whitehorse. Minus 18 for Yellowknife, snow, and minus 4 for Norman Wells. Minus 9 for Sax Harbor, minus 3 for Paulatuck. Minus 17 in Chesterfield, 19 below for Whale Cove. Minus 30 for Resolute, 23 below for Arctic Bay.
It's a special Friday for our Nouvelle Nationale team as they've traveled to northern Quebec for the show. Let's hand it over to host Kim Sullivan to find out more about tonight's episode.
Hey, well, I'm obviously not in a studio tonight. We are actually up north near the James Bay in the Cree community of Waskaganish, seeing Cree community hospitality at its best. We were here for the ribbon cutting of their new community Mi'kmaq Chickasaw Center. You'll get to see that as well as get all your news in tonight's episode of Nouvelle Nationale Community Edition. See you at 6:30 Eastern.
Good stuff, Kim. Looking forward to it. Stay warm. Probably warmer there than here in Winnipeg. Kim and the team are just 90 seconds away from now. That is all the time we have for your APTN National News for this Friday. You can catch up on all of the week's biggest headlines tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern Time on APTN National News Weekend. And stay up to date with the very latest anytime by visiting our website, aptnnews.ca. I'm Dennis Ward. Marcy Miigwech, thanks for being with us. Have a great night.